There's a quiet exhaustion that comes from trying to be spiritual and powerful at the same time. Many people were taught, directly or indirectly, that some parts of them are holy and other parts are dangerous. That instinct needs to be restrained. That desire should be questioned. That ambition is suspicious. That authority belongs somewhere else. So you learn to manage yourself instead of understanding yourself. You try to be good. You try to stay aligned. You try not to cross invisible lines that were never clearly explained. And over time, that creates tension because you're still human. You still feel drive. You still feel instinct. You still feel the pull to act, decide, move, and lead. But you've been taught to mistrust parts of yourself. That's where the exhaustion comes from, not because you're doing something wrong, but because you were never taught how to hold power responsibly. Many people were taught suppression instead of balance, and suppression always creates pressure. And if you've ever felt torn between who you are and who you think you're supposed to be, if you've ever felt guilty for wanting more clarity, more authority, more direction, if you've ever wondered why trying to be good feels so heavy, you're not broken. You're responding normally to an incomplete teaching. And the quiet question underneath all of it is usually this: why do I feel divided inside? This lesson exists to answer that without judgment, without urgency, and without asking you to abandon yourself in the process.
Where magic meets mindset, where the moonlight's the way, manifesting with Mystique, every law's in play. It's align it, believe it, receive it. With Mystique you'll achieve it. Manifesting with Mystique, your cosmic path is clear.
Before we go any further, it's important to be clear about what this lesson is and what it is not. This is not worship. It is not rebellion. It is not a deity lesson. And it is not about control over other people. Nothing here is asking you to replace your beliefs. Nothing here is asking you to cross a line. Nothing here is asking you to give your power away or take it from anyone else. This is a symbolic teaching, a law of balance, a framework for self-governance. It exists to help you understand how instinct and conscience can work together instead of pulling you in opposite directions. This lesson is about learning how to hold awareness, how to make choices without fear, and how to move through life with clarity instead of inner conflict. You always remain sovereign here. You always retain your free will. You always choose what you accept and what you leave behind. There is no pressure to believe. There is no pressure to act. There is no urgency being placed on you. This is information, not initiation. And it's being offered so you can understand yourself more fully, not so you can become something you're not. Balance has always been harder to teach than extremes. Extremes are simple. They're easier to enforce, they're easier to measure, and they're easier to control. Most systems don't teach balance. They teach compliance or release, suppression on one side, indulgence on the other. But mastery sits in the middle, and mastery requires self-rule. Here's the part that matters. Unintegrated people misuse power, not because they're evil, but because they don't know how to hold it. When power is expressed without self-governance, harm follows. When harm follows, fear grows. And when fear grows, knowledge gets hidden, softened, or distorted. That's how teachings about balance turn into warnings instead of instructions. That's how nuance gets replaced with absolutes. That's how symbols meant to teach restraint get turned into symbols people are afraid to touch. The issue was never balance itself. The issue was power without responsibility. So instead of teaching people how to govern themselves, many systems chose the safer option. Don't touch this, don't question that, don't trust yourself here. But avoidance doesn't create wisdom, and denial doesn't create peace. It just creates division inside the person who's trying to live correctly, without understanding how wholeness actually works. This lesson exists because balance was never meant to be mysterious, it was meant to be practical. And when people are taught how to hold power with clarity and compassion, extremes stop being necessary. The middle flame is the point of conscious balance. It's not a compromise, it's not neutrality, and it's not indecision. The middle flame is where awareness governs power. It's the place inside you where instinct is acknowledged, but not obeyed blindly, where morality is honored, but not weaponized, where desire is present, but directed, not denied. This is not about shutting parts of yourself down, it's about learning how to hold them. Think of fire in a hearth. When it's contained, it warms the home. When it's ignored or unleashed without care, it destroys. The fire isn't the problem, the lack of stewardship is. The middle flame is that stewardship. It's like a steering wheel, not a cage. You're still moving, you're still choosing direction, but you're no longer at the mercy of impulse or fear. It's like a dimmer switch, not an on or off button. Power doesn't have to be suppressed to be safe. It has to be regulated with awareness. In the middle flame, you don't amputate parts of yourself to be good, and you don't indulge every urge to feel free. You develop self-command. This is where instinct and conscience stop fighting and start working together. This is where clarity returns, not because conditions are perfect, but because you are centered. The middle flame is not about becoming something else, it's about becoming integrated. Balance without ethics collapses. That's not philosophy, it's law. Any power that violates consent eventually turns on the one who uses it. Anything that overrides another's will rebounds. And any influence that bypasses responsibility corrodes from the inside out. This is why self-mastery always comes first. The middle flame is not about controlling outcomes. It's about governing yourself. You don't get to skip that step. Power that is clean respects choice, yours and everyone else's. It doesn't coerce, it doesn't manipulate, it doesn't trespass. If something requires secrecy, fear, or force to work, it isn't balance. It's imbalance trying to justify itself. Here's the measure. If your clarity increases, you're aligned. If your compassion expands, you're aligned. If your sense of responsibility deepens, you're aligned. But if power makes you impatient, entitled, or dismissive of others' autonomy, that's your signal to stop. Ethics aren't restrictions placed on you from the outside. They're the internal structure that allows power to move safely through you. Free will is sacred, not because it's fragile, but because it's foundational. And responsibility isn't a burden. It's proof that you're capable of holding what you've been given. This is why the middle flame doesn't rush. It pauses, it chooses, and it carries only what belongs to it. The middle flame doesn't change your life by making it dramatic. It changes your life by making it manageable. When you're centered in balance, your emotions stop running the wheel. You still feel them, but they don't hijack your decisions. You pause before reacting. You respond instead of spiraling, and you stop confusing intensity with truth. This is what emotional regulation actually looks like. You also stop living in guilt, not because you stopped caring, but because you stopped fighting yourself. You can want things without shame. You can set boundaries without cruelty. You can say no without rehearsing explanations in your head. Ambition becomes sustainable. You work toward what matters without burning yourself out. Rest stops feeling like avoidance and starts feeling like wisdom. Spiritually, something important shifts too. You stop being afraid of doing it wrong because you're no longer outsourcing your authority. You trust your discernment, you trust your timing, and you trust yourself to correct course when needed. Life becomes quieter, but clearer. The middle flame doesn't remove challenges. It removes unnecessary inner conflict. And that's what gives you more energy, more peace, and more direction. Without force, without pressure, and without fear. Nothing needs to be activated. There's no switch to flip. There's no ritual to perform. There's no urgency attached to this understanding. What you've just learned is meant to integrate, not excite. You're not broken. You never were. You were never meant to amputate parts of yourself in order to be acceptable, spiritual, or safe. Balance is not a personality trait. It's a skill, one that develops through awareness, patience, and practice. And mastery doesn't announce itself. It's quiet, it's steady, it's humane. You don't need to rush forward from here. You don't need to prove anything. Let what resonated settle where it belongs. Integration happens naturally when understanding replaces fear. And when balance becomes familiar, life doesn't get louder, it gets clearer.
Alright, let's bring this home. What you've just received isn't something you need to do anything with right now. It's something you live into. The seal song for this lesson is titled The Law of the Middle Flame. This song isn't a spell on anyone. It doesn't override will. It doesn't force outcomes. It works the way balance works. Through repetition, reflection, and resonance. You can listen to it when you're calm. You can listen to it when you feel conflicted. You don't have to focus. You don't have to visualize. You just let it play. The purpose of this seal is simple: to harmonize the place inside you where instinct and conscience meet. No urgency, no pressure, no activation required. If insight rises, let it rise. If nothing happens, that's fine too. Balance doesn't announce itself. It settles in quietly and changes how you move. This is DJ Jamal, and this has been The Law of the Middle Flame. Take what belongs to you, leave the rest, and move forward in your own time. If this lesson resonated with you, make sure you're subscribed to Manifesting with Mystique for more grounded teachings like this. And if the music itself moved you, head over and subscribe to Hidden Hymns Archives, where all of the seal songs live. Drop a comment and let us know what landed for you. Your reflections help others find their way through this work. Feel free to share this lesson with someone who's been navigating inner conflict and could use clarity without pressure. And just so you know, the Law of the Middle Flame seal song is now live on all major streaming platforms. Listen when you need grounding. Listen when you need clarity. No rush, no force. Jamal out. Peace.
If your house are called by name, you awaken the middle flame. They hid this truth behind the fake, so only the ready could embrace. Because power without self-control turns sacred fire into a hole. Kings fell drunk on righteous life.